Hello, this is Pigsy. Another video. The latest sort of developments I was seeing last night with Greece and their riots towards Obama's presence in their country, which was a lot worse than what's happening in the US. I'm sure people get caught up in mob violence, but generally it appears to be a lot worse because they're just firing petrol bombs and throwing rocks and fireworks at the police. They're not even bothering to protest, they're just basically gone into riot mode. So it's interesting that it's likely to be underreported by the press. They're likely to focus on Obama's negotiation over there, or for whatever reason he's gone over there. To be honest, I haven't really followed that too closely. I just know that he's visiting X amount of countries in a short period of time. So that's kind of mild on what potentially could happen. There's in these elite groups, shadow groups or shadow government. I mean, it's very fragmented at the moment. My personal thoughts is that the Hillary camp is more of a Nazi type mafia connected one. Trump's likely got connections to Freemasonry and them kind of side of things. I don't think there's any elites that don't have a allegiance to some kind of secret society at some level, even if they do their own thing. But he's also the maverick. I mean, I think as a Freemason, you may be asked to do certain things, but there's a certain amount of leeway to do your own thing as well. The problem with the current system and with the shadow government is there's always been an agenda to cause a nuclear war. There's always been an agenda for having a martial law situation put in place. So that's what they're pushing towards with the Trump, some sort of silly violent behaviour, targeting, just trying to push up the ante basically. But the problem is with liberals is that they're feminised at one level, so they don't sort of, well, the idea of committing violent acts kind of goes against their kind of their intention. So they might prefer things imprisoned or controlled, or I don't know, to make their point in a different way. So yeah, some of the ET intel I received was basically there was a kind of a false flag that was caused by a group. Basically, they're some sort of remnants or some breakaway group from the Anunnaki, and they try to project meteorite to sort of hit Russia. I think it was possibly broken down, or it was taken up before it could actually strike. The idea is if that came down, hit them, that may create a situation like they were being attacked by a nuke, because it would have gone off at like a megaton nuclear bomb. But I think the very nature of these countries is they're not poised to war. They don't. The nuclear weapons are not actually even ready. They're not primed. I mean, once you prime them, then you can fire them, but they're not primed up to all that kind of thing. So there's like I say, an overreaction. Possibly the press, almost like you just got to press a button, and there we go, it happens. Going back to Trump's agenda with the building the wall, it may lean towards potentially build it to a FEMA. They might have what you call sanctuary type cities where walls are built around them, and there could be a grading of sort of civilians in there. So you might have people that are quite new coming in, immigrants that possibly they may have to stay in an area. They may have to stay in between certain zones. Like they can't go into something that would be like a corporate area, or maybe DC's protected in some way, you know. So basically it limits their potential to cause harm if one of them was radicalised in some way or something happened. But the only problem with that is you create these weird like ghettos of grades of people. You could have an area that'd be like it's almost like something out of a computer game where you've got Batman. So you've got this like city that's encased and all the prisoners run around inside it. So you might have a more extreme area. So they might have a strong martial law in there, but also they have factions of criminals that would be operating within this sort of controlled sector. So it's like a giant prison basically. But what they can do is take these prisoners and try to make them productive. So you might have factories in there. You might have sort of what you'd grade as sort of third world work. But to keep it all in America, you apply these people would do it, and they would make virtually nothing. You might give them skills that they can go off and use elsewhere, and you know, basically they can get references from this place. Depends on the type of crime they've been involved in. But it's a kind of grading of society, and sort of this new era that's going to be what brushing in.